Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Disco Katie the Crappy Crafter, and today will be the Crappy Artist. A little while ago, depending on when this is posted, could be days or weeks, I'm not sure, I playing with a couple different drawing prompts, and both of them came up with frogs. One came up with frog that's a fairy, and the other one came up with a blind frog. So we're gonna do a blind frog fairy coloring. I think that's just about the best frog I ever did draw. It's probably the only frog I've ever drawn. That's not true. I'm sure I've drawn a frog at some point. But, you know, I think it came out pretty good for, drawing while I was at work. So, let's get right into it. that came out super cute, and I'm really happy with the results. Here it is. What do you think? I think he came out super, super cute. And like I said, this came from 2 different writing or drawing prompts. They both came up with frogs, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to draw a frog. And one of them was a blind frog doing something, and I don't remember what that was. And the other one was a frog that is also a fairy. So we did wings, and he's blind. And yeah, I think it's super, super cute. So, the markers. I have used one of each of almost all of my markers. I forgot to use the new Spectrum Noirs that I got, and I forgot to use the Faerie because they're up there in their little boxes. I haven't taken them out of their little boxes yet to combine them with the rest of my markers. But, yeah, so I really appreciate how sturdy and solid the Ohuhus are, you know? They're a pretty big tip. They have a pretty fine point that is probably gonna fray pretty quickly, but we'll see what happens. I like it because you can get into teeny tiny spots. There's a lot, most of them have a pretty good ink flow, so I don't have to worry about, well, I still have to worry about coloring too quickly because I color too quickly and the flow does not keep up. But, so I really like the solidness and the sturdiness of those tips. However, I really like how the Ohuhu and the Copic feel going across the page. So there are those. Definitely different sizes. The Copic is definitely looking more solid than the Ohuhu is. Not Ohuhu. How many times have I said Ohuhu for this? This is the Spectrum Noir. The Spectrum Noir. Spectrum Noir and Copics have a vaguely rubbery feel to them on the page, which I really like. It slides really nicely across the page, but I find that they don't have the ink flow to keep up with my mad dash coloring either, which means I should probably just color more slowly, but I'm so used to coloring with pencils and crayons and chisel tips. The chisel tips always have the best flow. And you did see I used the chisel tip a bunch of times on like the background and stuff like that to knock out really big swaths of color really quickly. So these have a slightly more rubbery feel to them. This one actually feels like pressed felt, like it has that vaguely scratchy texture that most chisel tips will have, but I like how sturdy it is. I do find that the Spectrum Noir are softer than the Copics, like they bend more and you can really get in with the belly of the brush and really scrub but the problem with that is they're softer than the Ohuhus, which means that the tip curls more quickly and it's harder to get into really tiny tight spaces with either one of these, either the Spectrum Noir or the Copics. These are really good for tiny places, not so good for working on big swatches and swaths unless you're using the chisel tip, in which case that comes in great. So, overall I love all of my markers, I really do. I will continue using all of my markers as we go on, and yeah, tell me what you think. Poor little fairy's frog, or frog fairy's wings. I may or may not have just forgotten to put highlights in them. I know I could go back and do that now and just add it to the end, but I'm lazy. And this project is done. So the wings are a little bit more flat than the rest of the project is, but you know what? They're magic. So maybe they're just glowing from within or something. I don't know. So what do you think? Tell me what you would have done differently. Tell me what you liked. Tell me anything that you noticed while I was going through it. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, like and subscribe and all that crap and stuff and words and things. And I guess we're done for this week. So until next week, stay safe. Come here. Oh, come here. Oh, more Loki. Oh, here's the Loki boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.